Hi everyone, Lauren here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so happy to be back practicing with you after a little break for the holidays. So I hope you all had a lovely festive season. And today's practice, we are going to do something a little bit different. When I sat down to kind of plan this practice, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to explore. And then it got me thinking about, let's not have a set focus or a set goal, a set aim at all for this practice. We are just going to explore some free movement, which if you know me, you know that's what I'm all about, and this is what I love to teach, but I actually haven't put it out there on YouTube, so this might feel quite different. So as you can see, I've not got my mat and nowhere to be seen, so you don't even need a mat for this practice. You just need a little bit of space around you. You don't necessarily need more space than you would in a yoga practice. You just need to be kind of conscious of your surroundings, because we are going to be moving with our eyes closed, and I don't want you to accidentally hit into a wall, knock something over. So just be a little bit aware of your space, maybe clear some things away, so you do have that freedom to move without being afraid of kind of crashing or knocking. Okay, so we're going to start by exploring small dance. So again, if you've practiced with me in person, you might know this. I love this practice, and it's actually originally developed by Steve Paxton. I'm not going to go into it in too much detail because I could talk forever about it, but we are going to experience it. Okay, so all you need, a little bit of space, comfy clothing, and just come to standing. Okay, so for our small dance, or to help us find our small dance, we're going to start standing, feet about hip distance apart. They don't need to be kind of a particular way. How you naturally stand, they might be naturally turned out, naturally turned in. Come to your natural stance. Take a moment to kind of soften through the shoulders, let everything go. Okay. So trying to just be as relaxed as we can here. Settling into the moment very much like we would normally do in our yoga practice. And this still is very much a yoga practice. We may not be looking at the traditional yoga asana, but we have still very much got the intention, the mindfulness of yoga. So if you haven't already, closing your eyes, closing off the outside world. You might begin to sense the body here, how it's feeling. Sense the mind and there's many thoughts back and forth running through your mind, or perhaps gradually quieting down. Sensing your breathing. A steady rise and fall of the rib cage, the chest, the belly. Allow the breath to be as free, as easy as possible. So without holding the breath, without placing any restrictions on the breath, breathe however feels good. You might take a couple of sighs here and there. You might take a deep breath in, waking yourselves up. And steadily sigh out. And just allow yourselves to kind of drop into this moment. So the breath gradually finds its own steady, natural pace. And maybe from here, with that steady breath, perhaps noticing this very tiny, very subtle shift of weight across the feet, across the soles of the feet as they root down into the earth. It might be a steady weight shift forwards and back, side to side. And sometimes when we kind of tune into that natural shift away, it can make us feel a little bit off balance, maybe even a little bit dizzy. That's okay. Just really stay with the breath. And this shift of weight, this movement is happening all the time, but very rarely are we still enough to notice it. But once you find it, it can take a little bit of time. This is your small dance. This tiny dance that is ongoing, never stops. So even when we think we are at our most still, there's this almost hidden movement. And it all starts with the breath. Now feel free to stay with your small dance for as long as you need, and maybe this is as far as you take it today. Or maybe we start to allow our small dance to take us elsewhere. So you might expand on that sway side to side, forwards and back. And as you begin to explore through movement, just remind yourselves that the movement doesn't need to look like anything in particular. So you don't need to be copying exactly what I'm doing, just listening to my words as a guide, taking what you need, leaving behind what's not serving, and just starting to explore your very own small dance here. So again, continuing to let that sway kind of grow. You might notice as you shift your weight back, you lift the toes slightly away from the ground. And then there's that kind of reassurance as the toes land back down and we shift the weight forwards. Maybe you then start to feel the urge to let the arms kind of go with you. As you lean forwards, the arms come forwards. As you lean back, the arms go back. Again, we can stay with each kind of new addition for as long as you wish. And then maybe there's that calling to break free from that regular forwards and back pattern. So maybe the hips start to take us in a different direction. And still we might just be kind of shifting the weight between one foot to the other. The arms are still kind of swaying. And then from here, you can go wherever you want to. You can take the arms up into the air. You can soften through the knees, maybe sink down to the ground slightly. Let yourselves really explore and let the breath continue at that steady pace. If we perhaps feel a little bit self-conscious, a little bit aware of kind of how our movements might look. If someone were to look in through a window, yeah, it might look a little bit strange. It might raise a few questions, but we are here in this moment. We are just exploring what it's like to move without any real aim, without any real goal in mind. Just tapping into that small dance and letting it almost release whatever it is within. So allow yourselves to start to travel around the space, change direction, turn, face a new way. Still having the eyes closed, but again, if you are aware that you've got lots of things around you, if you've got a wall, feel free to use the wall if that feels okay. You can kind of lean into it for a moment, let it catch you, and then maybe push away, go elsewhere. Beautiful. And if you are used to these free movement practices, you may be kind of willing to just keep going and going, exploring, testing your balance, stretching. If we're still quite new, take your time. We're going to keep going like this for maybe maybe about 3 minutes. So keep moving, keep exploring. This is just kind of just a little introduction to what moving in this way might feel like. See what we find. And if we start to maybe lose ourselves along the way, we can slowly steady, come back, find that small dance, find your center in a way, that place where everything starts and ends with the breath. And then once again, it might offer us something new and take us in another direction. Okay, so here we go. Just 2 minutes. And I know sometimes 2 minutes can feel like an age. It can feel like it goes on and on and on. But those 2 minutes will be over before you know it. So again, keep shedding those layers, shedding whatever has been holding you back, shedding whatever is stopping you from just breathing, being, moving. Let the breath go, let the body go, let the mind go. Lovely, and just like that. Just 1 more minute. Slow it down, speed it up. Expand, contract. And then in your own time, start to wind yourselves down. As best as you can, try not to come to an abrupt stop here. Dialing down the intensity of your movement. We don't have to come to the exact same place as to where we started. Find your feet once more. Land as softly as you can. The arms steadily lower, once again down by your sides. We again come back to that subtle shift of weight. Side to side, forwards and back. Notice how you feel now. The breath rate's elevated, the heart rate's elevated slightly. Perhaps even feeling a little bit more awake here, a little bit more alive. Our skin, our cells buzzing with this kind of new information. This new way to sense, explore, learn. And it all starts within. Gradually arriving back into the moment, the physical body, your physical space around you. Take a deep breath in, fill up the lungs entirely. Deep breath out. Let's take 2 more. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. 1 more. Deep breath in. And a deep breath out. You can start to slowly flutter the eyelids back open. Take a moment to notice the space around you. Place yourselves within that space. Beautiful. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me for that little free movement practice. I know it might not be what we are used to. But it's always good just to welcome in something maybe a little bit strange, embracing the weird and wonderful, and just seeing where it takes us. You know, we don't have to be so much the same every day. It's always good to welcome in just that little slice of something perhaps we're not expecting. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much again for joining me. Leave me a little comment if you like this practice and if you want more. I am thinking of doing maybe a free movement series on here. So yeah, if you're interested in that, pop a little comment below, and I hope to see you on the mat, or maybe not on the mat, very soon. All right, bye. Mwah.